Well, thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And over the last 3 months, I've had the good fortune of working with some really amazing, brilliant, and driven founders. And I'm excited to share with you my first company to present this afternoon, Open NeuroTech, co-founded by Chris Rexroth and Dan Romano. Chris will be presenting for the company this afternoon. I'm so excited about this platform because Open NeuroTech is shortening the time from an innovation to a solution to getting an idea off the sketchboard and into a patient that's suffering from a neuromuscular issue, perhaps a severed nerve or a spinal cord injury, or a neurosensory issue, and all things related to that. So without further ado, welcome, Chris.
Everyone, my name is Chris Rexroth. I'm a co-founder of Open NeuroTech, and our goal is to make it easier to build the next generation of medicine. And we're doing this by providing key hardware to neurotech startups in their product development phase. So my co-founder, Dan Romano, and I are business-minded biomedical engineers, and we've been involved with the product lifecycle of active implantable devices currently in clinical use. We'll be talking about a product that was developed through a 4-year, $14.7 million NIH program, and it's uniquely the world's first open source implantable device. I find myself here today because I'm obsessed with neurotechnology. I remember being a teenager, and after a traumatic family incident, I was deep into Google Scholar looking for that next experimental treatment that was going to help my family member. And many of us will come across that same situation, whether it's the dread of a diagnosis or injury, and then that hope for that next experimental treatment that's going to come to market. And that's what our company was founded to do, bridge that gap between the possibility in research and the actual human use. So a little context about our field. We work in a field called neuromodulation. And this is an alternative to pharmaceuticals. It's very hard to treat the nervous system with pharmaceuticals, and you bring in systemic side effects when you're trying to treat conditions like stroke, depression, chronic pain with drugs. And so in this field, we use implanted devices to restore function and remove symptoms, but at the nerve level using electrical stimulation. So you could think of the cardiac pacemaker or the cochlear implant for hearing. And it's a very promising therapeutic frontier right now. We see a strong response and growth in the R&D section. There's a race to develop the next big implantable neuromodulation therapy. And we see that the devices market is going to double in the next 7 years. But there's a major bottleneck holding up this field. And every researcher who's trying to test something out in humans needs to access that human-grade implantable technology. And right now, that's almost impossible to get. You could, as a startup or an academic lab, build your own device from scratch, but you might burn through your funding on the circuit boards alone. Or you could try to use a Medtronic or Boston Scientific device off-label, but you're giving up control, and they can pull that device back from you whenever it's in their best interest. These current options are expensive, time-consuming, and they all converge at the same difficult regulatory processes that a lot of us are talking about with our different projects. So our solution is very simple. We're giving researchers open access to a technology that's already being used in humans. Our company is selling an implantable neuromodulation platform for investigational use by academic labs and neurotech startups. It looks kind of like a Medtronic pacemaker, but it's got some key differences that enable customization, as well as that major aspect and value of the regulatory precedents that we hold. It's already implanted in 10 humans and has 3 different investigational device exemptions, or IDEs, at the FDA. And so this customization and this precedence helps us get our users to their first in-human study faster so they can prove their clinical feasibility. It's extremely hard. It can take up to a decade. It can take tens of millions of dollars as you're trying to get to a 510K or PMA working in this market. And we've shown that we can save 3 to 7 years and millions of dollars by just adopting our platform as an existing device rather than developing your own. So our company sells the human-grade implant like this. We also sell a benchtop kit and an animal version of this for the phases of research that lead up to the clinical feasibility and the marketed use. Come by our table to check it out. It's a little plug. We're in the back wall. Our beachhead here is seed to Series A neurotech startups. So you could think of like the next SPR Therapeutics. We're looking for companies who are developing devices and going for a clinical indication using implanted stimulation. Academic researchers and their institutions are still very critical to us because they represent a very wide and diverse range of applications coming into the pipeline that will be in the market in years to come. We're starting with founder-led direct sales, as we've been ingrained in this community in the last 4 years through our NIH program. Have conducted customer discovery and have many great connections there, as well as community growth that I'll talk about in a little bit. And our long-term play here is platform standardization. So we're trying to get this into the hands of the educators in this field and every stakeholder along the pathway so that we're the main infrastructure for this field and providing public and private benefit. So talk to us if you want to hear more about this later. But our goal is to get to 15 paying customers at that benchtop and animal level. But really our goal is to work with people all the way through the human use of the system. And so in the years to come, we'll be looking at all of those research uses, benchtop education uses, as well as other possibilities for our company. And working with people across their whole development pipeline could end up being near $900,000 or so of opportunity for us with each customer. This isn't theoretical. We're about to get a beep in a second, so just prepare for that. We've shown that there's a unique benefit to using our platform and the openness of it. In the past 3 years, we've been able to prove our process of referencing past IDEs at the FDA to get new users on board. So we have 16 pilots going right now. We just got paid this morning for our first benchtop customer. And we're growing this by getting our animal offering more formalized, getting that educational platform, but then looking to grow the human side of the business. Not many companies get to start with a product that they can sell with the manufacturing relationships behind that. And we have wonderful co-development partners through our university partners and some startups we're beginning to work with. So we're navigating these connections to really engage those gatekeepers to adoption, like the regulatory and funders that our model seeks to benefit and coexist with. And for everyone in the room, we'd love to hear your thoughts and partner with you as well. So thank you very much for the time.